Hello my friends, and I am sorry that I have been totally absent for the last 2 weeks. If you've been following my Instagram, you'll know I've been incredibly busy. I haven't even had time to sneeze, but I am doing my best to try and juggle everything. I'm obviously not doing such a great job. Let me just move that. I'm obviously not doing such a great job because I haven't posted in 2 weeks. So what I've done is, I know it's a cop-out, and every YouTuber does it when they don't know what else to do or when they haven't got time. And I'm going to do a Q&A session. I asked my Instagram followers if they had any questions that they wanted me to answer, and I've neatly written them down on a piece of paper, and I'm just going to go through them with you if that's okay. So I guess let's get started. Okay, so the first question is, who is a poet you will read and reread over and over again? And that is from Rachel Glass. So thank you for asking the question, Rachel. It's so windy. It's so windy. It's either rain or wind with me. Top quality YouTube content. Okay, so who is a poet you will read and reread over and over again? There are a couple, and I think people who follow me meticulously will know all these. But I love reading Jack Kerouac, not Jack. Charles Bukowski, William Shakespeare. There's so many, there's so many poems as well that I read over and over again. One of my favourite poems I read probably twice a month, maybe. I know that's a bit overkill and sounds terribly boring, but I love it. So yeah. The second question is from Bruno. How are you so awesome? I have no idea. How are you so awesome, brother? Bruno's a good friend of mine, so thanks, man. What are the best poetry books to learn from? That's a good question. I haven't read too many books on how to write poetry. That's if you're looking for sort of very obvious. If I take the question for face value, I just got a WhatsApp. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. My YouTube is just going to go down. I know. No, it's not. Don't unsubscribe, please. I just have a lot on at the minute. What are the best poetry books to learn from? And that's from Flaming Rose Poetry. If I take this question face value, I don't read many books on how to write poetry. In fact, I think I've only read 2. Oh, now I'm being called. Let me put my phone on silent. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I am just all over the place. Right. I've only ever read 2 books that are specifically for how to write poetry. And I think I would 100% recommend the book by Stephen Fry, the Ode. I think it's called The Ode Less Travelled. Excuse me. What is going on? I don't even have time to do lots of fancy editing either, so this is just raw Adam Gary you're getting right now, and I apologise. Yes, The Ode Less Travelled by Stephen Fry is a really great book. Also, I think it's called The Poetry Notebook. I started reading. It's quite a heavy read, but it's written by someone who used to write for Poetry magazine, and I think what it is he's just putting all his articles that he's ever written into one collection. It's an interesting read, but it can get quite heavy and bog you down at times. But yeah, definitely check those out. I'll leave a link for them in the description below. What are the best poetry collections that are positive? And that's also from Flaming Rose Poetry. Thank you for your 2 questions. What are the best poetry collections that are positive? You know, I can't tell you, my friend, because I'm a negative kind of guy. No, I'm joking. When it comes to art, though, I do tend to be attracted to sort of the darker side of things. A positive poetry collection. A positive poetry collection. You can get, I've got it, I had to buy 2 because I lost my first copy. You can get a collection of the greatest love poems ever written, which is a self-published collection by someone that I do not know the name of, unfortunately, but it's quite cheap, and it's got all the best love poems throughout the ages. I guess you could call that positive. There are some sad ones in there too, though. Positive love collections. If anyone knows of any, not love collections, positive poetry collections, if anyone knows any, please hit me up in the comments and put links or description or titles. Clearly I haven't had enough coffee today. If you know any positive collections, let us know, because I could probably do with some more positivity in my life too. So let's help the community out. So I'm sorry about that one. I can't fully answer that question, I'm afraid. How would you suggest poets go about editing their work? And that is from the Right Brook. Thank you for your question. How would you suggest poets go about editing their work? I think I've said in one of my previous videos before, I tend not to edit my work too much just because I have so much going on. Case in point, it's been 2 weeks since I've been able to upload a video. So I only kind of go over poems usually. Sometimes if I'm really vibing with the poem, I'll keep editing, but usually I just go over it once, make sure it kind of flows nicely, there's no grammar or spelling mistakes, but sometimes they creep through because I only do it once. I subscribe to the quote, and I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Tennessee Williams, but I'm probably wrong there. And the quote goes, "Write drunk, edit sober." I kind of subscribe to that. I like to have a glass of wine as I'm writing, and then go back and wonder where my mind was the next day when I'm sober, and kind of rework it and make it better. Maybe I'll do a video on how to edit a poem in the future. Let me know if that's something you guys would like to see, a proper video rather than a slapdash Q&A. But yes, make sure you edit your poems. I'll do a video on that in the future. Yeah, I'll do that in the future. So thank you, Right Brook. Do you still have the first poem you ever wrote? That's from KB Hope. Kelsey. No, I do not have the first poem I ever wrote. That was lost a long time ago. I do remember it though. Well, I don't remember the poem itself, but I do remember I kind of drew a sketch to go along with it. I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination, but I drew like Kingston Bridge and a river, and there was a poem on there, and I'm pretty sure that was the first poem I ever wrote. But no, I don't still have it. I would love to read it though. If it's still out there, I'd love to kind of see how crap it is. Now this last one, this will be the last one. It's from Scardova. I hope I said that right. And it's very interesting. What's the most interesting thing you've ever learned? I don't know if that's about life or if it's about poetry. I'm going to go with life, even though this is a poetry channel, I guess. What's the most interesting thing you've ever learned? I should really have considered my answer for this before recording, because I don't know how long I'm going to sit here thinking, what's the most interesting thing I've ever learned? What's the most interesting thing you guys have ever learned? Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to read some answers to this. The most interesting thing I've ever learned. I've learned quite a few interesting things because I'm quite a curious person. I like to learn different facts. And the day I sent out these, asking for these questions, I read this, and then that day I learned something really interesting. But I didn't learn it because now I've forgotten it. I've forgotten what it was, so I obviously didn't learn it. I'm probably going to have to cut here and come back with my answer. Let me have a think. That is literally such a hard question. It's so broad, but I've gone with two answers. The first one is that humans can endure far more physical pain than they can mental pain. And the second one, just because, you know, this is a YouTube video and I want to keep things a bit more light-hearted. Did you know that hangover comes from the old days when public executions, public hanging was a massive thing and was celebrated, and so people would come from all across London to go and watch people get hanged. It would be a merry occasion for some reason, so everyone would drink lots of alcohol, and the next day they would feel the way you feel after lots of alcohol, and it would be called hangover, because it's the day after the public execution of hanging. I thought I said I was going to say this was positive. Anyway, that's it for this video. I am really genuinely so sorry that I'm so sort of not vacant, that's not the right word. I'm so distant at the minute. If you follow my Instagram, you'll know why. I've been so busy, and I really hope that I can get back to regular posts across all social media and my newsletter too, because I haven't sent out a newsletter in about 3 weeks. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.